So, what's our topic today? Uh, Alcohol? Oh, okay. And who's this intended for? College students? Oh, good. Before I present my argument and possibly meet my demise, I'd just like to thank my producer, Christopher. He's the only reason I can be here today. Thank you, Christopher. So, on to my demise. So, I might tick some people off here, but I'm going to have to tell you what you may already know, which is that alcohol isn't totally, very exactly, completely good for you all the time. Completely. Okay, still alive. That's good. So what do we do now, Christopher? Oh, yeah, my argument. Sorry, I was just a little rattled. Didn't expect it to make it this far, so. However, I do actually have some actual information to present here, so stick with me. About a month ago, I was researching possible factors of weight gain in college, especially in freshmen, and I found that alcohol is an even larger factor in weight gain than I had ever anticipated. And all of a sudden, I had some new curiosity about alcohol. Obviously, we all know that drinking too much can lead to a state of drunkenness, which could lead to some bad things. Yet, what are other specific downsides to alcohol? And what are some statistics that prove that it shouldn't be the drink of choice? Now, evidently, we're operating under the assumption that a large sum of the college population drinks alcohol. I love stats, so here are some to back it up. In a 2001 college survey, Anderson and Gattoletto reported that 54% of violations of campus policy involved alcohol. In addition, the NIAAA... Oh, just 3 A's? Sorry, I lost count. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism found that 60% of college students 18 to 22 years old drank alcohol in November 2015, and 2 out of almost every 3 of them engaged in binge drinking. Before we move on, I would like to acknowledge that any and all humor in this video is purely satire. It is not intended to attack you or your habits. That being said, we will move forward with the understanding that alcohol, if used right, is not evil, neither is anybody for consuming it. But I hope to present you with healthy alternatives and make a case for why college students should consider living their lives or their college careers sans alcohol. Furthermore, today we're going to deliberate the consequences of alcohol misuse in several points. These cons of alcohol include: it makes you fat, it makes you dead, it makes you have fun. Wait, no. Cross that one out and put, it will make you dead. It's like the last one except more definitive. It also makes you without a liver, which is a condition otherwise known as death. Let's see. Death, and death. Too much? Oh, okay. In all actuality, though, we will discuss how alcohol can lead to weight gain, the benefits of alcohol and why they can be outweighed by the negatives, and why alcohol is riskier than other beverages. First of all, let's expand upon the area that made me so intellectually interested in alcohol. Weight gain due to alcohol. Now, some might say that this is a large topic, so I'm going to cut away the fat and give you the meat of it. Alcohol has been linked to fat increase and high caloric intake. No, Christopher, not caloric as in calories, not chlorine. Okay, what do you think this is? Chemistry? Oh, hey, good segue. So when alcohol is consumed by somebody, it breaks down into 2 major chemicals, fat and acetate. Now, the fat goes into the fat stores per usual, but the acetate is a salt, and that is used as your body's primary source of energy instead of the proteins and carbohydrates which are already in your body. So that means the proteins and carbohydrates turn into fat and go down to your fat stores. Ben Greenfield is a New York Times bestseller and... Christopher, this is ridiculous. I can't remember all these accolades. Ben Greenfield is a New York Times bestseller, Beyond Training, Mastering Endurance, Health, and Life, 2008 NSCA Personal Trainer of the Year, 2013 and 2014 Top 100 Most Influential People in Health and Fitness. I mean, look at that handsome face. Doesn't that just scream credibility? So that should be news for you. You don't need to smoke weed to get the munchies. In fact, a certain alcoholic drink called an aperitif is used by restaurants to increase your appetite and get you to spend more money. An aperitif encourages your body to either want more alcohol or more food, and probably greasy, fatty food at that. Acetate, an aperitif, beer bellies. Yet, alcohol doesn't always have this effect. I'm sure that it's not news to some of you if I say that there are possible benefits of alcohol. So let's go over some of those. Consuming temperate amounts of alcohol decreases risk of stomach ulcers, reduces chance of developing type 2 diabetes, lowers the risk of a stroke, decreases risk of a heart attack. However, contrastingly, let's look at some possible negatives of overuse of alcohol. Stomach ulcers, hinders control of diabetes, increased risk of a stroke, and increased risk of a heart attack.
You can have too much of anything.
Well, technically this is true, but binge drinking water pretty much just entails drowning instead of all of these. This information essentially runs in tandem with our final point. Christopher, what are these shenanigans? I haven't heard that one before, yeah. Final countdown, real funny. Why alcohol is more risky than other potential beverages. Now, obviously, the health risks just mentioned can be support for this, yet, like we acknowledged, you could technically experience health risks from anything. Therefore, we will examine why you may be more likely to experience the consequences of alcohol if you drink it than other drinks and their respective risks. For example, I literally searched binge drinking grape juice and didn't find anything. In fact, the first result was top 10 juice fast recipes for alcohol abuse and liver detox. It stands that people are more likely to binge drink alcohol than any other beverage. Now, binge drinking is defined as a pattern that brings blood alcohol concentration to 0.08, usually 4 to 5 drinks in 2 hours or so. When you drink alcohol, you marginally increase the amount of dopamine in your system. Now, dopamine is otherwise known as the happy hormone. While this may seem like a good thing, too much of this neurotransmitter can dull the senses and make the drinker less full, which is a bad thing. This is why it's so easy to binge drink an alcohol, whereas something like milk will not overstimulate the brain, meaning that you will actually stop because your stomach's about to explode and your brain actually realizes that. Alcohol is suggested as being a possible path to harder substances. The following figures were gathered from NIDA data. In 2009, 69.9% of heavy alcohol users among those aged 12 to 17 were illicit drug users. Also, in a 1996 study, those who started drinking before 15 were 101 times more likely to use cocaine than someone who abstained from alcohol. Now, you're welcome to prove me wrong on this, but I have not found any research that correlates grape juice with cocaine use. So I hope you've learned something here, or at least had previous knowledge reinforced in a new way in which you wish to act on. Through research, I certainly learned some new perspectives on how alcohol contributes to obesity. In addition, there was some light shed on some long-term effects that I hadn't exactly thought of before. Also, I was happy to learn that grape juice isn't addictive. However, overall, there are many more risks to alcohol. The previous reasons were just some that may very well jeopardize academic and social performance in college. And that is why, my friends, I would encourage an alcohol-free run during your college career. Thank you, and until next time, this is Jared signing off.